My fiancée announced 3 days before Valentine's, "I want a break. To see if I miss you." I said, "Take all the time you need." When she called on Valentine's Day, ready to get back together, I was on a date with her cousin. Original post. A 29 male proposed to my fiancée 8 months ago. We'd been together for 3 years before that. I thought we were solid. I thought wrong. 3 days before Valentine's Day, she sat me down in our living room with that serious expression that tells you bad news is incoming. "I've been thinking," she started, "about us, about whether we're really right for each other." My stomach dropped. Where is this coming from? I just need to know if what I feel for you is real love or just comfort, familiarity. "You know, we're engaged. You said yes 8 months ago." "I know, and I meant it. But lately I've been wondering if I said yes because I genuinely want to spend my life with you, or because it was expected. Because you're safe." Safe. She called me safe. Like that's a bad thing. "So what are you saying?" "I want a break. Just for a little while. To see if I miss you. To see if being apart makes me realize how much I need you." The timing wasn't lost on me. Valentine's Day was in 3 days. The reservation I'd made 2 months ago at the fancy Italian place she loved. The weekend trip I'd planned. The earrings I'd already bought. 3 days before Valentine's, I said flatly, "I know the timing isn't great. The timing is perfect, actually, for you." What does that mean? It means you get to be single on Valentine's Day. Free to do whatever or whoever without technically cheating. And if it doesn't work out, you come back to safe old me. Her face hardened. "That's not fair. I'm trying to be honest with you." Honest would have been talking about this before we got engaged, or before you accepted the ring, or before I put down a deposit on a wedding venue. I didn't know how I felt then. And now you suddenly do? 3 days before Valentine's. She crossed her arms. "I need space to figure things out." That's not unreasonable. I looked at her for a long moment. The woman I'd planned to marry. The woman I'd build a life with. The woman who was now asking for permission to test the waters while keeping me as a backup plan. "Okay," I said. She blinked. "Okay. Take all the time you need." "Really? You're okay with this?" "I'm saying take your break. Figure out what you want. I won't stop you." She looked almost disappointed, like she'd expected more of a fight, more begging, more proof of how much I needed her. "I'm going to stay with my sister for a few days," she said, "just to clear my head." "Sure. You're being weirdly calm about this. What would you prefer? Should I cry? Beg? Would that prove my love better than 3 years of actually being there for you?" She didn't answer, just packed a bag and left. The moment the door closed, I did something I'd been putting off for weeks. I called and canceled the Valentine's reservation. The $200 deposit was non-refundable, but honestly, that was cheaper than the emotional cost of sitting at that table alone. Then I returned the earrings. Got store credit. Used it to buy myself a new watch I'd been eyeing for months. Something just for me. Felt strange. Felt right. Then I sat down and really thought about the last few months. The late nights she'd been working. The new interest in self-improvement. The distance that had been growing between us that I'd chalked up to wedding stress. I pulled up her location, sharing on my phone. She'd never turned it off. She wasn't at her sister's house. She was across town, at an apartment complex I didn't recognize. Interesting. I screenshot it, saved it, then turned off my own location sharing so she couldn't track me. The next morning, I woke up to a text from her, "Missing you already. Hope you're doing okay." I left it on read. If she missed me so much, she could have stayed. But she didn't. She chose to leave. She chose to lie about where she was going. That text was just maintenance, keeping me warm on the back burner while she explored her options. 2 days before Valentine's, I got a text from her cousin. We'd always gotten along well. She was the cool one in the family, the one who called out BS when she saw it, the one who'd privately told me once that I was too good for her cousin. "Cousin, hey, heard what happened. You okay?" "Me been better." "How'd you find out?" "Cousin, she posted on Instagram about taking time for myself with a spa selfie. Asked my aunt. Got the full story." "Me, what did she tell you?" "Cousin, that you're being unsupportive of her emotional journey." Her words. "Me, wow." "Cousin, yeah. For what it's worth, I think she's being ridiculous. You deserve better." "Me, thanks. Means a lot." "Cousin, if you need someone to talk to, I'm around." Serious offer. I thought about it for maybe 30 seconds. "Me, Actually, yeah. Want to grab coffee tomorrow? Cousin, sure. I'll text you the place. The next day, February 13th, I met her cousin at a coffee shop. We talked for 3 hours about the situation, about her family, about how her cousin had always been the golden child who got away with everything. She's not at her sister's, I told her. What do you mean? Location sharing. She's at some apartment across town. Has been since she left. Never once went to her sister's place. Her cousin's expression shifted. Understanding, then disgust. She's with someone. That's my guess. She wanted a break conveniently right before Valentine's Day. Lied about where she was staying and has been at the same address for 3 days. Doesn't take a detective. That's not a break to find herself. That's a trial run with another guy. Yeah, I figured. And she expected you to just wait while she did this. That's exactly what she expected. The break was supposed to give her freedom while keeping me on ice. What are you going to do? Nothing. She wanted a break. She's getting one. I'm just not going to be waiting when she decides she's done experimenting. Her cousin looked at me with something like respect. Most guys will be losing it right now. What's the point? She made her choice. I'm just accepting it faster than she expected. You know, she hesitated. This is probably inappropriate, but do you have plans tomorrow? For Valentine's, I did. Canceled them. I don't either. My ex and I split 3 months ago. First Valentine's single in 4 years. That sucks. It does. Want me single together? Strictly as friends. Anti-Valentine's solidarity. I laughed. Actually laughed for the first time in days. Sure. Why not? There's this new tapas place I've been wanting to try. Nothing fancy. Just good food and maybe too much wine. Sounds perfect. So that's how I ended up having Valentine's Day dinner with my fiancé's cousin. And that's what my fiancé called. Update 1, Valentine's Day evening. We were halfway through our second bottle of wine when my phone rang. Her name on the screen. Her cousin saw it, raised an eyebrow. You gonna answer? Might as well. I picked up. Hello. Hey, happy Valentine's Day. Her voice was bright, almost manic. I've been thinking about you all day. Have you? Yes. And I realized I was so stupid. I don't need a break. I know what I want. I want you. I want US. Background noise on her end. Restaurant sounds. Glasses clinking. Where are you? I asked. Just out. With some friends. Nothing crazy. But I want to come home. Tonight. Can we talk? Sure. We can talk. Great. I'll be there in like an hour. We can order in, watch a movie, make up for lost time. Her voice dropped suggestively. I really missed you. Did you? Of course. This break made me realize how much you mean to me. You're my person. Interesting. Because according to your location sharing, you've been at the same apartment across town for the last 3 days. Not at your sister's like you said. Dead silence on the line. What? The apartment complex. The one you've been staying at since you needed space. Whose place is that? You were tracking me? You never turned off location sharing. I just looked. That's a complete violation of my privacy. And lying about where you were staying is what? Exactly. Her cousin was watching me. Wine glass paused halfway to her lips. She could hear enough to piece it together. It's not what you think, my fiancé said quickly. It's just a friend's place. A friend. You've been staying with a friend for 3 days. On a break from our relationship. 3 days before Valentine's Day. You're twisting this. Then explain it. I don't have to explain anything to you. You're being controlling and paranoid. I actually laughed. I'm controlling? You asked for a break so you could stay with some other guy without it being cheating. And I'm the problem. I didn't. It wasn't. She was sputtering now. Where are you right now? I can hear noise. Are you at a restaurant? I am, actually. On Valentine's Day? With who? I looked across the table at her cousin, who was now openly grinning. Your cousin, actually. The silence that followed was almost worth the entire disaster. My cousin? You're on a date with my cousin. It's not a date. It's 2 single people having dinner on Valentine's Day. Since we're on a break and all, we're not on a break anymore. I just said, you said you wanted a break. I gave you one. Now you're upset that I'm not sitting at home crying while you test drive your other option. That's not how this works. You cannot date my cousin. According to you, I can do whatever I want. We're on a break. That's the whole point. Her cousin grabbed the phone from my hand. Hey, it's me. Quick question. Does your mystery friend know you're engaged? Or did you conveniently forget to mention that while you were finding yourself? I heard screeching from the phone. Her cousin just laughed. Thought so. Enjoy your night. She hung up and handed the phone back to me. That felt good, she admitted. She's going to lose her mind. She's already lost it. She just didn't realize you weren't going to be a pushover about it. My phone immediately started buzzing. Text after text. You're going to regret this. I can't believe you would do this to me. My own cousin? Really? You're sick. We're done. The engagement is off. I showed her cousin. She shrugged. Wasn't the engagement already off when she asked for a break to stay with another guy? Technically, yes. Then she's just catching up to reality. My phone rang again. Her mother this time. I sent it to voicemail. Then her sister called. Voicemail. Then her father. Same. Within an hour, I had 16 missed calls and probably 50 texts. I turned my phone off. Her cousin was watching the notifications pile up before I silenced the phone. She looked almost impressed. That's a lot of reaction for someone who wanted to take a break. She's not mad that the relationship is over. She's mad that she lost control of the narrative. How do you mean? She expected me to be devastated, crying, begging for her back. Instead, I'm at dinner with her cousin, clearly fine. That's not how she planned this. In her version, she was supposed to come back whenever she wanted, and I was supposed to be grateful. And instead, she found out I'm not a backup plan. I'm a person with options. That's what she can't handle. Want to get dessert? Her cousin asked. Absolutely. We didn't get home until midnight. By then, my fiancée had apparently driven to our apartment. Her car was in the lot. The lights were on inside. She's here, I said. Wanted to come up? Moral support. Probably not a good idea. She'll use it against both of us. Fair point. Text me later. Let me know you're okay. I will. I went upstairs. Unlocked the door. She was sitting on the couch, mascara streaked, still in whatever she'd been wearing at the restaurant. We need to talk, she said. About what? The break you requested, or the guy you've been staying with, or the fact that you're upset I wasn't waiting faithfully while you cheated. I didn't cheat. We're on a break. A break you asked for specifically so you could be with him without it being cheating. That's just cheating with extra steps. You're unbelievable. I try to be honest with you. Honest? You told me you were staying at your sister's. You were at some random apartment. You planned this whole thing to give yourself a guilt-free pass. That's not honesty, that's strategy. I was scared. I didn't know how to tell you. You knew exactly how to tell me. I want a break. To see if I miss you. That was your speech. Practice, probably. You just didn't mention the part where you already had someone lined up. You're twisting everything. I'm stating facts. You wanted a break. You got one. Now you're mad that the break applies to both of us. I went behind my back with my own cousin. I didn't go behind anything. I had dinner with someone. You literally gave me permission to do whatever I wanted when you asked for a break. I didn't think you'd actually do anything. You're supposed to miss me. You're supposed to wait. There it was. The truth. So the break was a test. You wanted to see if I'd be miserable without you while you had fun with your backup plan. That's not. And when I didn't react the way you expected, when I didn't beg and cry and prove how lost I am without you, you decided to come back early. Before I could realize I don't actually need you. Her face crumpled. That's so cruel. No. What's cruel is asking your fiancé for a break 3 days before Valentine's Day so you can sleep with another guy. What's cruel is lying about where you were staying. What's cruel is expecting me to be grateful when you decided to come back. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. This was a calculated plan to have your cake and eat it too. And now you're mad that I won't play along. She stood up. I want a ring back. Fine. I went to the bedroom, got the ring box from where she'd left it on the dresser, and handed it to her. That's IT? You're not even going to fight for us. No. After 3 years? After 3 years, you asked for a break to be with someone else. What exactly am I supposed to fight for? She stared at me like she'd never seen me before. Then she grabbed her bag, the ring box, and stormed out. I slept better that night than I had in months. Update 2, 1 week later. The week after Valentine's Day was interesting. That's putting it mildly. First, the family campaign started. Her mother called me 7 times in 2 days. I answered once. You need to apologize to my daughter, she started without preamble. For what? For humiliating her. For going on a date with her own cousin. For being cruel and vindictive. Did she tell you that she spent her break at another man's apartment? That she lied about where she was staying? Pause. That's not the point. It's exactly the point. She wanted freedom to explore other options. I gave it to her. She didn't like that I used the same freedom. You were engaged. You have responsibilities. So did she. She chose to ignore them. She hung up on me. Her sister texted me a novel about how I was emotionally abusive for tracking her location. I replied with one line. She never turned off location sharing. I just looked. No response to that. Her father, surprisingly, was more measured. He called once, asked what happened from my perspective, actually listened, and then said, I'm not going to defend what she did. But I hope you understand this puts the family in a difficult position. Understand. I also didn't create the situation. No, you didn't. He sounded tired. Take care of yourself. That was it. Probably the only reasonable person in her entire family. Meanwhile, her cousin and I kept talking. Not romantically. Not yet. Just talking. She was the only person who saw the situation clearly without family bias. They're rallying around her. She told me over coffee a few days later. Full victim mode. She's telling everyone you were cold, distant, that you drove her away. And then when she tried to come back, you'd already replaced her with me. Replaced her? We had dinner once. I know, but that's not the story she's telling. What's your family saying to you? She shrugged. My mom called me a traitor. My aunt won't speak to me. My sister said I should be ashamed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause problems for you. You didn't cause anything. She did. And honestly, the fact that they're blaming me instead of holding her accountable says everything about why she turned out the way she did. Still, it's your family. Some family is worth keeping. Some isn't. I'm old enough to know the difference. Here's where things got interesting. Remember how I mentioned she was at some guy's apartment? I did some digging. Not stalking, just following breadcrumbs. Social media is a gold mine if you know where to look. The apartment complex she was staying at, it's where her co-worker lives. The one she always said was just a work friend. The one she grabbed lunch with because their schedules aligned. The one whose name came up a little too often in casual conversation. Her cousin helped me piece it together. Apparently, this co-worker had been liking all of her Instagram posts for months. Comments that were just a little too familiar. Inside jokes that excluded everyone else. The kind of engagement that makes you wonder how often they're actually talking. When I pointed this out to her cousin, she pulled up her own Instagram and started scrolling through my ex's posts. Look at this. Every single selfie, he's one of the first to comment. Beautiful as always. Lucky to know you. This has been going on since at least October. For months before she asked for a break. At minimum, this wasn't a sudden confusion about your relationship. This was a slow burn exit strategy. I sent him a message. Nothing aggressive. Just, hey, I'm the fiancé. Or was. Just wanted to let you know she has a pattern of doing this. Might want to consider that before getting serious. He blocked me within an hour. But I noticed something interesting. His Instagram went private. And her posts about finding herself and self-love journey suddenly stopped. Trouble in paradise already. My ex tried to contact me directly a few times. First, anger. You messaged him? Who do you think you are? Then guilt. I can't believe you would try to sabotage my life like this. I thought you were better than that. Then manipulation. I realize now that you're hurting. I hurt you. I'm sorry. Can we please just talk? I still love you. I made a terrible mistake. I didn't respond to any of them. Here's the thing about people like her. They don't understand when their manipulation stops working. Every time I didn't respond, she'd escalate. New approaches, new tactics, new stories, each one designed to provoke a reaction. First came anger. How dare I message her coworker? Who did I think I was? I was obsessed and couldn't let go. Then came guilt. I was trying to sabotage her happiness. I wanted her to be miserable. I couldn't stand to see her move on. Then came manipulation. She realized now that she'd made a mistake. She still loved me. The break was a terrible idea. Could we please just talk like adults? Then came threats. If I didn't stop harassing her by not responding to her messages, apparently, She'd make sure everyone knew what kind of person I really was. I didn't respond to any of them. Each message got screenshot, dated, and saved, just in case. She started telling mutual friends that I was obsessed with her and couldn't let go. Meanwhile, SHE was the one sending me messages. The cognitive dissonance was almost impressive. About 5 days after Valentine's Day, she showed up at my apartment unannounced. I didn't let her in. Please. 5 minutes. I just want to talk. About what? Us. Our future. I made a mistake. I know that now. What changed? She hesitated. Things didn't work out the way I expected. With your coworker? Her face went red. How did you? Lucky guess. So he dumped you, and now you want to come back to safe old me. Am I getting that right? It wasn't like that. I realized I was confused. I thought I wanted something else, but what I really want is you. No, what you want is a backup plan. Someone to catch you when your first choice doesn't work out. I'm not interested in that role. You're being so cruel. I'm being honest. Something you should have tried 3 weeks ago. She left crying. Somehow I was still the bad guy in her mind. The lease situation was complicated. We were both on it. Her name, my name, shared responsibility. The apartment manager said we need to figure it out among ourselves or wait until the lease was up in 4 months. I offered her a deal. I'd take over the full lease, she'd get her deposit back, about $1,400, and we'd call even. She refused, demanded I pay her half the furniture value plus emotional damages. The furniture argument was ridiculous because I'd bought most of it before we even moved in together, and emotional damages isn't a thing in lease disputes. I told her to take it up with a lawyer. She didn't have one, couldn't afford one. Her coworker apparently wasn't the financial rescue she'd been hoping for. Turns out the guy made about the same as she did, which is to say, not enough to fund the lifestyle she'd been enjoying on our combined income. Her cousin, meanwhile, became a genuine friend. We texted daily, met for coffee a few times. Nothing romantic on the surface, but something was building. We both felt it. Is this weird? I asked her one evening at dinner. What? This? Us. You're her cousin. There are rules about this sort of thing. Rules made by people who've never been in the situation. She destroyed your relationship. I was here. We connected. That's not weird. That's just life. Your family will never accept it. Probably not. Does that bother you? I thought about it. Less than I thought it would. She smiled. Same. Final update, 3 weeks later. The resolution came faster than I expected. And Messier. My ex's desperation hit a peak about 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. The co-worker situation had apparently imploded spectacularly. Through the grapevine, her cousin, who still had 1 or 2 family members willing to share gossip, I learned that he'd broken things off because, wait for it, he found out she'd been engaged when they started talking. The irony was almost too perfect. She'd lied to him about me, just like she'd lied to me about him. And when the truth came out, he wanted nothing to do with her. From what her cousin gathered, the coworker had asked her directly, "Were you really engaged when we started talking?" And she'd apparently tried to spin it as technically, but basically over. He didn't buy it. Probably realized that if she'd lie about something that big, she'd lie about anything. So now she was single, humiliated, and living back with her parents. No fiancé, no boyfriend, no apartment. The life she'd been so eager to explore had collapsed in 3 weeks. Did I feel bad? A little. 3 years together doesn't just disappear. But mostly I felt relief. Relief that I'd seen who she really was before we'd gotten married. Before we'd had kids. Before she could do this to me when there was actually something at stake. The lease situation resolved itself when she realized she couldn't afford a lawyer, and I wasn't going to cave to her demands. She signed off on transferring the lease to me in exchange for her deposit back. I took the deal. $1,400 was a small price to pay for a clean break. Her stuff was packed by her sister on a Wednesday afternoon. I wasn't there. Didn't need to be. Her cousin offered to be present to make sure nothing got damaged or accidentally taken, but I declined. I just wanted it done. Everything she owned fit in about 12 boxes. Looking at the empty spaces in the apartment afterward, I realized how little of us there really was. Most of the furniture was mine. Most of the decor was mine. The kitchen stuff, the bedroom set, the TV, all mine, purchased before we moved in together or during the relationship with my money. She just occupied space. 3 years together, and she left barely a physical trace. Maybe that should have told me something earlier. The final communication came via email, probably typed by her mother, knowing her writing style. It was 3 pages of emotional manipulation disguised as closure. She was hurt beyond words by my betrayal. She never meant for things to go this far. She still loved me despite my cruelty. She hoped I would someday realize what I'd lost. She wished me nothing but misery with her cousin. The last line was particularly charming. "You two deserve each other." I didn't respond, just archived it in case I ever needed documentation. Her cousin read it, laughed, and said, "She's right about one thing. We probably do deserve each other, just not in the way she means." About that, her cousin and I didn't officially start dating until almost a month after Valentine's Day. We both wanted to make sure it was real, not just revenge or rebound. We took it slow. Dinner, movies, long conversations about what we both wanted. It was real, different from anything I'd had before. She was honest in a way my ex never was. Direct. No games, no tests, no manipulation. When she felt something, she said it. When she wanted something, she asked for it. "I know this is complicated," she told me one night. "My family thinks I'm a traitor. Her family will never accept us. Every holiday is going to be awkward for the rest of our lives." Is that a deal breaker for you? No, just a reality check. I want to make sure you know what you're signing up for. I know, and I'm in. She smiled. Me too. Her cousin, my girlfriend now, I guess, lost some family relationships over this. Her mom barely speaks to her. Her aunt, my ex's mother, sends passive-aggressive cards on holidays. Some cousins unfollowed her on social media. At one family dinner she wasn't invited to, apparently her name came up, and someone called her the betrayer, which is both dramatic and kind of hilarious. But her dad still talks to her. Her brother thinks the whole situation is hilarious and keeps asking for updates. And she has friends who understand. Family isn't just blood, she told me. Family is the people who show up for you, who tell you the truth even when it's hard, who don't enable your worst impulses. My ex never had that. She had enablers, people who made excuses for her, blamed everyone else, convinced her she was always the victim. And when that stopped working on me, she lost her mind. I ran into her once, about 3 weeks after everything settled. Grocery store because, of course. She saw me, froze, then walked the other direction. Didn't say a word. Neither did I. That's probably the best closure either of us is going to get. So where does this leave me? The apartment is quiet now. Different. I rearranged the furniture, painted one wall, bought some plants. It feels like mine for the first time in years. Her cousin comes over a few times a week. We cook dinner, watch bad reality TV, talk about our days. Normal stuff. Domestic stuff. It's nice. Simple in a way my previous relationship never was. Is it perfect? No. Her family still hates me. My ex is apparently telling anyone who will listen that I was abusive and she escaped a toxic relationship. Some people believe her. Most don't. But here's what I learned. You can't control what other people think of you. You can only control how you respond to situations. My ex wanted a break, so she could cheat without consequences. I gave her exactly what she asked for. And when the consequences came anyway, she blamed everyone but herself. That's her pattern. That'll always be her pattern. And I'm grateful I'm no longer part of it. To anyone reading this who's in a similar situation, trust your gut. When someone asks for a break right before a romantic holiday, they're not trying to find themselves. They're trying to find someone else while keeping you as a backup. You don't have to be the backup. You could just walk away. Let them discover exactly how much they need you. And when they come running back, you can be somewhere else entirely. Maybe even at a tapas restaurant with their cousin. Thanks for reading. Time to close this chapter.